Okay, well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite podcast, Wheels, Winchesters, and Weebs, where we window shop for things we can't afford. Isn't that right, Conan?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Um, Today we have a really fun episode, but before we get started, I wanted to take a minute and reintroduce the show to everyone because the first ever introductory show that we were going to do was Hardcore Redacted.
Yeah, no, man.
It will never exist again, but it's okay. We're gonna try again now. So, uh, Conan, you want to start us off? Let everyone know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Conan. Trying to think. I qualify on all three of the things that we're doing. I am a weeb. I love the end of maize, and
Man of Maze.
yeah, I also tinker around with the vehicles. Yeah, the cars, the wheels, anything with wheels. It gets the grease spinning from in my head. Um, Trying to think. Oh yeah, guns. Yeah, I like the pew pews and the pow pows and the explodey thingies. Um, but yeah, I've got a number of projects right now that I probably shouldn't have with guns and wheels, and I'm watching all the current anime that is good. So
You
yeah,
you are the poster boy of this. You are the poster boy of this podcast. I just want to make
well,
that
thanks.
clear. You are like, if we had one of those old
American.
style banners where it's like only you can. I don't know. I don't know why I immediately went to stop forest fires, but you know what I mean. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I get what you, like a almost like a political cartoon.
yeah, it would be
Right.
you. It would just be a picture of you.
Like, we want you for the U.S. military, except for it's me. It's like, we want you for my next project while I'm tearing out this engine in this car.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone should know you do have a little bit of a gym that you're working on right now. That was pretty exciting. I remember you called me and told me about this, but you are getting a Golf 2 running, right?
Oh, it's a Mark III Golf.
Mark 3 Golf.
It's the last year for the Mark III's, 1998. At least that's what I think. It might be a Mark IV. I don't know. Maybe we'll post some pictures on Instagram
Yeah,
and you'll be able to see it.
once it gets running. It's a good looking car. I mean, it's a little beat up, but it's gonna run real nice when it's done. Um, uh,
It drives, it's just misfiring.
it drives.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, sweet. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see that thing run, and I'm super grateful that you're here with us. You're here on this podcast with me. I know it's been kind of a road, but we're here. So, um, did you have anything else you wanted to share with the audience before we get rolling?
I can't really think of anything.
Okay.
You'll just have to get to know me.
All right. Sounds good. Again, thank you so much. My name's Tyler. I'm your other host. I am into two of those things. I'm not really big into the anime right now, though I've been looking at where I'm like, that might be interesting to watch. I'm really big into cars.
Don't worry, I'll get them.
Well, there is that one that you and I were talking about, the like car racing anime. That one really caught my attention.
Yeah, we'll have to dive in that one.
But yeah, I'm really into cars. As some of our other solo episodes will show, all of mine pretty much are car related, and I love guns. They're super fascinating. I love weird guns. I'm not a big fan of like a Glock or an AR-15, but you put like I don't know, like a FAMAS in my hands or a freaking a 2-gauge shotgun strapped to the back of a Toyota Tacoma. I'm all for it. Like the weirder it is, the more interested I am. So I'm excited about this because we get to talk about these things, and everyone will finally get to know the joy of the 2-gauge shotgun. Yeah, Colin, I've been meaning to tell you. So I found out more. This is kind of a side tangent. We've been talking about it before. I found out more about the bear trap situation.
Oh, really?
So, for the rest of the listeners at home, Colin and I live out in the western United States, in the grand old state of Utah, And recently, I was walking into an IFA, which is like just a farm goods store, and I was about to open the door, and I saw this sign that said, "Beware of animal traps on the trails in Utah." So I guess what's been happening is the fact that we have a lot of coyotes in this state, and people are setting them out to deal with the coyotes. However, when I was talking to people at IFA, they're like, we've had a lot of people who came in here and bought those, and it didn't seem like they cared what stepped in that trap.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, just a word of warning to anyone who comes here to the state of Utah. There are animal traps out on the trails right now. They sent out the warning to everyone, at least in the Salt Lake Valley, to keep an eye out for animal traps. And these things are nasty. They're the steel jaw traps. They're not like little like snares or something like that. It's the thing where you step in it and you break an ankle. But yeah, so that is happening right now in the state. Supposedly they're working on fixing it, but it's happening right now. Let's see. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to tell you, Conan, that I see these things in the news, and I've wondered about doing a little news segment here on this podcast. I don't know if we will, but the Flint trials, the Flint, Michigan trials are finally over.
Okay, give me a recap on that. I don't think I've ever heard of this.
And this is a really poor summary. I'm thinking I'm gonna throw an article into the response to this page because I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to make it feel like I'm not giving it the justice it deserves because it's a really bad situation. But long story short, in Flint, Michigan, there was an issue that was putting things into the water. Starting in 2014, residents of Flint, Michigan were exposed to unhealthy levels of lead in their drinking water, and 12 died because of it. So since then, public officials have been trying to prosecute higher level officials. I think it's like the DA of the state has been trying to prosecute local officials for not doing anything about it. And recently, as of when was this? This was November 1st. It was that Tuesday before November 1st. Prosecutors charged several public officials, including Michigan's former governor, over their involvement in the crisis. Those who stalled in court for years after the defendants challenged a legal procedure used to bring the charges against them. So they were trying to play all sorts of games. And on that Tuesday, I can't remember if it was like the 29th or whatever it was, after a court ruling, prosecutors said prosecutions of the public officials are now officially over without any legal charges, which is really sad because 12 people lost their lives because
Yeah. Have they figured out the drinking water situation?
I
Do you know?
I don't know. I'll do some digging on it in our next episode. I'll give people an update with what I find out. But yeah, I don't know where they're at now. I don't know what's happening in Flint. All I know is that the legal trial is over, and it's kind of sad because I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of capitalism. I'm a big fan of freedom and everything that happens in this country. But I'm also a big fan of fair treatment and people being held accountable for their actions. And so it's kind of sad to see these public officials who were stalling for time, get away with 12 people's lives on their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be being presumptuous on that, but it kind of bums me out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know either way. Yeah, I don't know. I need to look into it a little more. But it just doesn't sound right. Because how long have they been in trial? Do you know? Like, how long is this going on?
Since 2014.
Oh, I've heard of this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So it almost
Right.
10 years. We're going on 10 years. Jeez.
But like I said, I could be being presumptuous, but we'll keep people updated. I'll throw if I can find a timeline of Flint, I'll throw it in the description for this episode so people can go and see it for themselves. And then I'm not going to say yea or nay on whether that's a good thing. It's just sad that no charges were levied, but I haven't read the court documents. So I don't know if that's a good thing. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I'd be okay as long as like the water situation's changed.
Right.
As long as the people are getting clean water, man.
Right.
as long as it's changed. If nothing's changed, then that's not good. That's not okay.
No, it's really not okay, and it's one of those things where, industrial accidents happen. They do happen, but most of the time, people own up. Responsible parties are held accountable.
Well, and whether or not it's punishable, like by by jail time or fines, or even if just like, hey, we're apologizing and we're going to fix as much as we can, because they might not have known, and it might have been like a sudden thing, or probably not, right? From my experience with different things, they probably did know, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, you get what I'm talking about. You get it. Y'all get it.
Right.
Y'all get it.
Yeah. But we'll keep everyone posted if we find out anything new, and let us know in the comments section if this is something you're interested in. We love talking about just little stuff we find out about. Little ADHD brains love it. And we're gonna move on to something a little bit of a lighter topic. I just felt like I needed to share that with everyone to let them know where that is, especially since these people are suffering, and I wish that their story was more well known than it is. It's kind of died out of the public, like the public mind doesn't really think about it much anymore. So, and who knows, things could change. But yeah, let us know. Conan, was there any little news updates you wanted to share with us that you saw, or are you ready to get into cars that are way too expensive for both of us?
I think that's a good idea. Let's just move on into some way too expensive cars.
Alrighty, alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a little gem that we're bringing to you called the world's most expensive cars, 10 of them specifically. And my goal at the end of this episode is for everyone else to be like me, where the feeling is, wow, I wish I had that kind of money. At the same time, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. I would never own a really expensive supercar. They just seem like a nightmare to maintain. I think the Chiron, it's like $300,000 a year in maintenance or some crazy number.
Well, it's because you know why? It's because they keep everything a secret,
Right, everything's protected.
and it's like, oh, we're putting a special oil in it. It's like, you mean oil? Like you could be putting diesel engine oil in there for all I know, and it's just because what type of oil? It's a secret. But yeah, continue.
That's funny. No, yeah, that's really the thing. It's like, why am I paying $10,000 for a brake
Yeah.
job? Like, I would rather keep that, spend $500 on a brake job, and just use that money to go buy like a nice truck or something. It's the same thing I feel about the G wagons. It's like the G wagons have this crazy nasty price tag attached to them, and you can't even use it like an SUV. People just buy it because it gets them a tax write-off here in the States. It's the only reason. And what bums me out even more is it's a nice car. It's a nice looking car. You just can't use it for anything because it's too nice.
Well, side note, there's a guy who he buys things and he like tests how good they are. Um, and he bought two G wagons and just used the crap out of them.
Oh.
He took them to the sand dunes. He dropped it through like a second story house. Like he lifted it up with a crane and dropped it to a second story house.
Yeah.
Like he just abuses them and he just reviews them. That's what he does. I'll have to figure out what his name is. I can't remember what it is. We'll probably have to link it.
Did they survive?
Yeah, no, they were really resilient. Yeah, he's like
Really?
this was great. He's like he used to buy Toyota Hiluxes, and they were his off road vehicles. But he's like, no, I'm gonna kit out some G wagons and go off roading.
He's modding the G
Yeah,
wagon. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, you'll have to send me that. I want to see this dude do this. I want to see this dude drop a $200,000 SUV through a second story house. Because well, the what is it? The 3 Series of Mercedes, the ML350s, like the one that I was gonna buy. They're that way too. They're like crazy reliable. It's just the rest of them are not. So that's cool. I'm glad that
yeah.
the G Wagon, that's a little more redemptive in my book then. If you can take it off roading, I'm feeling a little better about it. Anyway,
The problem is they're so expensive you don't want to. But yeah,
right. I don't want to scratch that car. This list of cars you will never take off roading unless you have enough money to buy another one, is going to be my guess. In which case, do you? But this is
Like doing it
Right.
for content. But yeah.
This is the world's 10 most expensive cars. And for people who are watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put up pictures on the screen of what these things look like so you can just see them. Because some of them are crazy. They're really good looking, but they're crazy. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with the 10 most expensive cars in the world, starting with everyone's favorite B word. I'm going to give you 2 guesses, Conan, and the second one doesn't count.
Is it a Bentley?
No. It is the Bugatti Mistral.
Oh. Bugatti.
So the Bugatti Mistral, it's at the bottom of the list with a price tag of $5 million. This is a pretty exclusive car. Only 99 were ever built. And it is so bougie that it boasts its own website complete with its own custom soundtrack. The Mistral itself, the reason why it stands out is they took all the features of the other Bugattis and kind of smashed them together. So it's got pieces from the Devo, the Bolide, and the Chiron's powerful W16 engine in it. Despite how hefty and expensive the prices were on these cars, the entire Ram sold out before they were even assembled. It's one of the most coveted vehicles on the market today, simply for that reason right there. And I could see why. This is a good looking car to me. I could see myself driving this one. For the fans at home, I'm a big guy. I stand about 6'1". I'm about 210, 215 pounds. I don't fit in a Honda Civic, and these things look like it would be a nightmare, but it's kind of spacious looking. Like, you look at that picture right there, Conan. I feel like I could fit in one of these things. And I don't feel that way.
Yeah. No, like legit. I'm victim weight, dude. I'm under 200, and I'm like 5'8". Like I can fit in almost anything. So like it looks really big.
It reminds me of the Batman car.
Yeah, I was about to say it reminds me of the like that could be like if Andrew Tate was Batman. Like he'd own that. That would be his Batmobile, his Bugatti Batmobile.
What's your Bugatti? Oh my gosh. Andrew Tate is Batman. I would pay hard cash to see a cartoon about that. I would love to see him get just clapped by Joker, by some mentally ill person in clown makeup. Anyway.
Who would it be? Wait. I'm trying to think. No. We won't get into that. We'll save that to another date.
Moving right along, we have probably one of the hardest names on this list for me to pronounce, so I'm going to try really hard not to screw it up, and that is the Pagani Huayra Imola. So the Imola is a specific trim, but this is the Butte right here. This is one of those cars I can't fit in. So
Wait. Look at them. Look at them eyes, dude.
Yeah. No, it's got a face. It's saying hello to you.
Yeah, it looks like Itadori or Sukuna from friggin' Jujutsu Kaisen. If you know, you know. All right. Wait, look up Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, look it up. Look at the eyes. He's got two sets of eyes.
That's really funny. Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. This is that character if he was a car.
Probably, yeah.
So the Imola, it comes in 9th in the list at a price tag of $5.4 million. It's the second most expensive Pagani ever produced. The first is also on this list. But it has a super powerful 6-liter V12, and it has enough power to justify the hefty price tag. It's super lightweight. It weighs just over 2,700 pounds, thanks to the carbon fiber frame and special lightweight paint that they developed specifically for the car. When I look at this one, again, this is not a car I would fit in. This was not a car I would fit in, but man, does it look like it would be fun to drive. Especially,
I don't think the pictures do it justice because the engine's not in the front of the car; it's in the back.
right.
You might be able to fit in this one. They might. It looks like it's like smaller.
Yeah.
But I think you got a little more reg room than you'd think.
And who knows?
I've never been in a supercar. I don't even think I've even been close to one. Like I've seen them before, but I don't think I've like actually walked up to one and like looked at it.
Me neither.
Um,
Yeah, me neither. They did when I went to there's a traveling museum for cars that comes around a couple of different states, and there's one here in Utah at the Southtown Mall. I'm just trying to remember what it's called. Hold on.
I know what you're talking
Southtown.
about.
Yeah, I just can't remember the name of it.
Wowcars.com. It's used Pagani. I don't even. I'm not even gonna try. Uh, for sale near you. It's like, nope. Not even gonna click on it.
So it's called um it's a traveling car museum called Automotive Addiction, and they started pulling in. I don't think it was a Pagani, but I think it was a Bugatti Chiron that they were wheeling in right as I was leaving, but it's the closest I've ever been. Conan, so far, looking at both of these, I don't think either of these really suit your fancy too much,
Yeah, not really.
but this next one just might. So we're gonna roll right along to number 8 on the list, the Bugatti Divo, a step up from its cousin, the Chiron. It has similar speed and performance, but it has a couple of little perks to it. I like this one. It's a really nice looking little sports car. It is one of the lower, it's one of the cheaper Bugattis on our list at 5.8 million. What makes it different is it has surpassed its cousin, the Chiron, in performance. It's 77 pounds lighter than the Chiron is because they made lightweight wheels and simplified the design. So there's less things in the car, lightening it up a little bit. Also, that shape that it has, that kind of spearhead sedan shape, helps it to be 8 seconds faster on the track than other cars in its division.
Hmm.
There's only 40 of these. However, the last one sold in 2021. So, Conan, do you think the Chiron is your car, just looking at it? I mean, not the Chiron, the Devo, sorry.
I I like it. Not gonna lie. I think we could get it. I think we could get it way lighter than 77 pounds, though.
Really? How do you
Yeah, we could we could cut out some quote unquote non-essentials.
wait until you see the last cars on this list? There's a lot of non-essentials. But now I'm curious. I want to hear your plan to cut weight out of a $5.8 million car. What are you planning on cutting out?
Just give me a just give me a sawzall. I'll be done in a couple hours.
Okay. That's all we're gonna
Door panels, nah.
That's all we're gonna get, folks. We're not gonna get specific
I don't.
details. Guard your devos, because Conan's coming for you. Oh man, that's too funny.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one I haven't heard of before, and Conan, I'm curious to see if you have. This is a car that is coming out of Greece. Probably the only time I've seen a car come out of Greece, but it is called the SP Automotive Chaos. And this thing just looks mean.
It looks chaotic, is what it looks like. Holy
This
crap!
thing, it's just a mean looking car. It's built like a freaking fighter jet. I wish I could remember the name. I don't remember what SP stands for. This thing, it comes in at number 7 on our list. It was launched in 2022 and it's already claimed the title of the most expensive base model on the list. So that $6.4 million price tag is the equivalent of buying a Honda Civic SE.
Jeez Louise, are you kidding
This right here is the Walmart brand of the SP Chaos. This is the cheap model.
me? Jeez.
This car, it has a 4-liter twin turbo V10 engine that can go from 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, making it one of the fastest cars in the world. But what truly sets this apart is one, it's got a huge price range. The top models in that make of car set at around $14.4 million, and only 20 of these have been made per continent. So it's really hard to get your hands on one of these. However, I made a note about this. What I want to know is who in Antarctica has $6.4 million lying around. I don't think they made 20 for Antarctica, but that thought makes me laugh every single time. This one, I feel like this is one I could fit in. It's got a pretty big cabin on the inside. Like if you look at it from the side view, that looks like something I could fit in. It seems really low to the ground. Um, I'm a little worried about it just by looking at it. It's like this is the kind of thing where you would get high centered on a speed bump.
Well, I think that's it's got to be on
You
airbags
think so?
because you can't be that low. Yeah, you can't. Well, the thing is, you're not take if there's any speed bumps, then you're not taking that road. But like, you're probably only going to take this to the track, or because it's so expensive,
Right.
or just unless you're Andrew Tate and you're just like, I'm just going to drive this down the road. But
I'm gonna drive this to I don't know what the Walmart is in other countries, but drive this to
you know,
Walmart.
that money, if I had that much money and I decided to get a supercar, I would drive it everywhere. Like I wouldn't be scared to not drive it. You know what I mean? But I it looks mean. I really like the look of it.
You know, I do too, but to be honest, if I had that kind of money, that if I had $6.4 million lying around, I would probably still just buy an SR5 and keep the rest of the money. Alrighty. Well, let's move right along to the next Pagani on the list. I would love to see more of these. You know, I see a ton of Bugattis, Lamborghinis, like in the really rich videos,
Hmm.
tons of Mercedes, tons of Rolls Royce. I want to see more of this beauty, which is the Pagani Codalunga. Look how cool this thing is. Say hello to the James Bond car. This one, I think, is so cool looking. Like this one, it's classy. That's all I can say about it. This one is just classy. I would love to see more of these wandering around instead of like another Bugatti Veyron. Just because it looks beautiful, especially like on the back with like all the little details, the special headlights, the beveled edges on it. It just looks clean. This one, it was a limited edition. It sets at a hefty price tag of 7.4 million, and it's designed to look like a coach build Pagani. One of the cool things about this is, and you can kind of see it if you look at the pictures, it's got two different sets of tires like the Teslas do, and it's wider in the back, so it's got bigger rims in the back of the car than it does in the front. I mean, yeah, than it does in the front. And it helps give it a lot more stability when you're driving around on the road. And you know, it's got them classic wing doors like the McLarens and the what's the word? Uh DeLoreans have, which I love wing doors. I think they're so freaking cool.
The gull wing doors, yeah.
Yes, sir. But yeah, this is we're rolling down towards the end of the list. This is number 6 on the list, and sadly, they are all gone. Every single one of them has been sold, which is why all I can do is sit here and hope I see the classic James Bond car at some point in my life driving down the street. Because man, does it look nice.
It almost looks like a concept build. You know what concept cars are, right?
Right, right,
Yeah. It almost looks like a concept car. Like look at the interior on it. Like look at the vents for the AC in the heater. The gauges are like popping out at you. Even the shifters like
right.
stand alone by itself. It's all
Yeah,
futuristic. Even the
yeah,
chairs, like look at them. Like it looks almost like a
right,
concept car.
right.
I like that part about it.
Um, yeah, and I think that's what they were going for. It is, so this is something I did not know until we were digging this a little far. It's a Wyara base, so it's built on the same engine and frame, but they've widened out the back. And ooh, this is something that I love as you look in that interior is that two-tone leather. I love two-tone leather.
Hmm.
I almost bought faux two-tone leather floor mats for my 2003 Toyota Highlander because I love it that much. This car, Conan, I think you would buy this one. Looking at it,
Well, it's not too low to the ground that like I can't use it. You know what I mean? Like that the last
right?
one just it didn't look like and I truly do think it was on airbags on that picture that we saw in those pictures that we saw.
Yeah,
But
on the
I
chaos.
will say this one, yeah, I do think this one would be right for me.
Yeah, I think so. We'll keep moving along and we'll see what you think the other ones. As we're getting up in this list, it's more into cars that I think are more my speed than yours, but I think you'll still like them. Especially this one on the list. This one is actually one of the most common, like, over the top cars that I hear about a lot in car circles, especially on like Reddit boards and Facebook groups and all sorts of other stuff. And this is the Mercedes Maybach Exhilaro. So, this beauty right here is one of my favorite cars. They actually made a lot of these. I think they made 1,000 or so. I could be wrong. That number could be too high. But what I love about them is actually their story more than what they look like. As much as I love how they look, the Maybach Exhilaro, it's number 5 on our list, but it was made for a specific reason, and that was to test the capabilities of a specific set of Exhilaro tires. And I think it has a 1-ton, 2-ton weight limit. So they're not designed, they're small rim tires, but they require a heavy weight for them to work effectively. So what Mercedes did is they went and found a V12 Maybach 57 engine and stuffed it into a stretched Mercedes sedan frame and then loaded it down with all of the bells and whistles that you would want if you were driving an $8 million car. It's the ultimate symbol of luxury, and it's a sports car. They're really freaking fast. And that's one of the reasons why it's the most sought after car in the world. But just take a look at this interior, Conan. So this one, we're starting to get into the cars that have like champagne fridges and stuff in them.
Okay.
This is what we're working with.
They made it. They knew that the owner wasn't going to be driving it.
Right.
Essentially. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the pinnacle of luxury. Like, I have seen so many of these. I don't know how many are left for sale. I didn't look at that number for those specifically, but they are like one of the quintessential luxury cars, and people are always fighting for them. All right, you ready for the last 4, Conan? We're at the countdown.
Let's do it.
We're going back to where we started with the Bugatti Centodieci. This one's a beast. Just by looking at the pictures, that's a hefty car. It's pretty big, it's pretty heavy, but it is a masterpiece and a monster at the same time. It was made to celebrate Bugatti's 110th anniversary and was designed to resemble the Chiron and the EB110, which are like 2 of their most famous cars. It's lighter than the Chiron, and it's built using computer-aided design and VR, allowing it to be finished in just 6 months. The Centodieci features an extra air intake near the oil cooler and a glass engine bay cover to make it stand out. So this, literally, they built this specifically so you could flex on other rich people. You can see an engine bay and the extra oil cooler from when I was doing my research. And I guess just found out just looking at this article, Ronaldo bought one of them.
Oh, cool.
So only 10 of these were built. But what I was trying to say is the extra air intake keeps your engine running at a cooler temperature for a longer period. Only 10 of these were built at 4,300 pounds.
Jeez, that's a heavy car.
And they're capable from accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds. The last one...
It can move, too.
Yeah, and it can move. These last 4, starting with this one all the way down, are crazy. However, the last one was sold last year for a current price on the Centodieci of $9 million for one of these bad boys here. Which, I get it. Looking at this, I get it. Like, just look at that thing.
Well, it's almost like most of these cars, they're art.
Right.
Like the way they were designed, the designers design them so they can be used, right? But the people who buy them kind of turn them into pieces of art, put them in their garage or put them on display. Not all of them, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of them.
Right.
But this is a true piece of piece of art.
Yeah, no, and man, it just looks just gorgeous. I'm kind of glad they didn't throw a spoiler on the back. Oh, crap, never mind. So they did, but that's Ronaldo's.
That's Ronaldo's, though.
Um,
I think that's Ronaldo's.
because I kind of like, I guess they all come with one. I'm not a big fan of the spoilers. In the previous episode, like I said, the Dodge Viper ACR ruined spoilers for me just because it's huge and it's in the way. But I guess on this one, it doesn't look too bad. It kind of fits in with the rest of the car, as much as I don't like them. Alrighty, last three, baby. And of course, no list would be complete without specifically having a Rolls-Royce that was part of this list. And like I always say, luxury means coach build, and number 3 on our list does not slouch in that category. Say hello to the Rolls-Royce Sweptail. So these bad boys right here, they are a one-of-a-kind car. They're each bespoke built, and it was commissioned by a super yacht and aircraft specialist. This one was specifically built for a Hong Kong real estate mogul for $12.8 million. The car boasts a one-piece glass roof, the largest front grille of any Rolls-Royce made of hand-polished aluminum, and many hidden gems built in, such as attaché cases built into the wall, and a button that extends out a container with hand-picked champagne and crystal flutes. So this is designed to be bougie. And like I said, there's only one of them. This guy, the mogul, built this for his son. However, that's not the craziest part. The craziest part of the Sweptail is it has a V12 engine, an 8-speed transmission, weighs 556,000 pounds, 5,600 pounds, sorry, and has a top speed of 155 miles an hour, and if I remember correctly, a 0-point turn radius.
Wait, 0 point?
Yeah, it's either 0 point or it's as close to 0 as you can get with something with a monster this big.
She's always.
It's fast, it's maneuverable, and it's gorgeous.
Oh wait, look at the suicide doors. Oh,
Right.
that's gorgeous.
This
And can you I need one thing explained to me.
okay.
What is an attaché?
An attaché case is something that I don't actually know. This kind of shows where I'm at in life. It's a briefcase. It's a fancy briefcase. It's a rectangular case with hard sides used for carrying business documents. I know these are have always been part of the rich, like the super rich's standard repertoire of clothes and items they carry around as attaché cases. But I wonder if we can take a look at the interior here to kind of show you what we're working with. So that's the interior of the car. And as you're going through this, a lot of these have they make stock cars that are similar to the Sweptail. There is, as far as I know, only one actual Sweptail. The rest of them are phantom builds.
Okay.
This one is specifically designed for that real estate mogul. And I wish it could show us the attaché case, but right now it's just all we're able to find really is the phantom design because it's built on a phantom base, if I remember correctly. The crazy thing, again, there's a picture of the champagne
Yeah.
and the champagne flutes. Is again, it's expensive, it's crazy looking, and it's built for speed. So this is like the pinnacle of I don't care what it costs, build it for me. And we're not even done. Number 2 on the list was built to beat out the Sweptail in 2017 when Bugatti resurrected a one-of-a-kind car, La Voiture Noire. So, back during World War II, there was a Bugatti that was made specifically for one of the designer's children, I think is what it was. And it was a Type 57 Atlantic Bugatti that they designed specifically for this one person, and it disappeared. They wanted to knock Rolls-Royce off the list. Bugatti wanted to create something that was one of a kind, and they did. This is La Voiture Noire. This thing is a monster of engineering. It's a designer's nightmare, and it's gorgeous to look at. So the body itself of this car, it's cast from a single piece of metal. It boasts incredible exterior details, including individually milled lighting elements for the headlights and specifically measured holes in the 3D printed grille. So that entire grille, let's see if I can find a picture of the front for you. Those headlights and this grille were built by hand. Yeah. On top of all that, the back light cover is designed to look like a single piece of glass. The interior features Havana brown grain leather, rosewood knobs for driving modes, polished aluminum inlays. It is powered by a 16-cylinder engine with 4 turbochargers, producing 15,000 horsepower and 1180 foot-pounds of torque. They only built one, and it sold for $18.9 million.
4 turbochargers
Yep.
with how many foot-pounds of torque?
1180.
Jeez Louise, dude.
Yeah, this is not.
The burnouts in that thing, dude.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And the thing is, the one thing that they didn't include in this that I found out in my research, so if you look at pictures of this thing, you see the light reflect off of it, but you don't see any reflections of people. And that's because the paint that this thing is painted with is designed to absorb light. Yeah.
That's crazy.
This thing does not create a reflection when you look at it. I mean, you do get some sheen from the top coat, but if you take that off and you just have the gloss paint underneath, you won't see your reflection. It's a specific color black, but it's built to suck in the light.
To be a shiny matte black.
Yeah.
A shiny matte black.
Yep.
That's crazy.
This I wouldn't even want to touch. We've reached the category of too rich for my blood, and we're not done. Because recently, as of I think it was 2021, Rolls-Royce had to step forward and beat out Bugatti again for the world's most expensive car, and that's number one on our list, the Rolls-Royce Boat Tail. This thing, Conan,
Ooh, that's convertible.
this thing is the definition of what would you like on your burger, and the answer is always yes. It doesn't matter what it is. Engine oil, chocolate syrup, yes. This car is the epitome of yes, personified. This thing is the most expensive car to date. It's built on a phantom frame with 1920s super yacht style. There is 1,813 bespoke handmade parts and a back deck that unfolds like a butterfly to reveal a parasol, rotating cocktail tables, and a matching set of Christoph tableware with 2 champagne fridges which are color matched to the bottles of Armand de Brignac champagne inside. That is, I can't remember his name. It's the rapper that's married to Beyonce.
Jay-Z?
That's Jay-Z's champagne brand. And every single boat tail comes with, I think it's 2. I think it's 2 champagne fridges that are color matched to the champagne in the bottles.
Oh, that's mental, dude.
Right?
And it has a rotating cocktail?
Right?
Like rotating deck?
Right?
What?
When I saw this thing, I lost my freaking mind. It's kind of hard. I'll have to see if I can find a picture for you of what it looks like. Boom. There we go.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to get one of them chairs, because those chairs probably fit into it, if you would want to get in one of them chairs from Rolls-Royce,
Yeah.
it'd probably cost you, like, you have to sell your soul and your firstborn child, dude. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, dude, this furniture was handmade for this car.
Oh goodness. How many were made?
They made 3,
Oh, excuse me.
or they're going to make 3. They've made 2 to date, and they're making 1 more. But I'm not done, Conan, because the first one that debuted in 2021 also included matching, I think it's Beauvais and Fleur watches, which doubled as extra clocks in the car, a custom Bose sound system that uses the interior, like the hollowed out interior of the car, as a speaker, and a custom Mont Blanc pen in a custom wood box.
So my little brother bought a 93 Lexus LS 400. This is relevant. And there's a pen inside, like one of the Lexus pen that they came with the car. And I looked up, if I lost that pen, how much would it take me to buy another one? It was like $4,000, Tyler, just for the pen. How much is that pen going to cost?
So a Mont Blanc pen will run you. Let's just take a look at their website and find out and see what we're looking at. The lowest cost is about $500 for the cheap handmade ones. If we go to the pricey of the pricey, first off, these limited edition ones you can't even buy. But the first one that has a price tag is $168,000.
I don't know if you caught that on the camera, but that was me slapping my face. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah. And that was just the first one. That was this one. The blue one I'm showing you on screen. That's what that one was.
Jeez Louise, dude.
I don't even want to know what came in the second car or what's coming in the third car. I can tell you, though, that there was a lot of stuff that they added to that second one that they didn't add to the first one because the second one is $2 million more expensive than the first one.
Oh, bro. Who owns these cars?
Really rich people. I don't even know who can afford a freaking, what's it called? Who can afford a $30 million car?
Obviously a billionaire.
I guess.
Obviously a billionaire.
So I just found another article. The first one that came out was bought by Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Okay.
So that
makes
$28
sense.
million one.
They're billionaires with a B. With a capital B, yeah.
So let's see if I can look up really quick who bought the second boat tail. Okay. So this is from May 26, 2022. Forbes magazine, Rolls-Royce CEO on how to order the ultra-rare $30 million boat tail. So they took the photo shoot that they did for this car was not in a warehouse. It was done on the grounds of the Mandarin Oriental Hotel on Lake Como in northern Italy. This car was commissioned by a Rolls-Royce client who wanted it specifically built in the design similar to the hotel, complete with rose gold cutlery, carbon fiber folding stools in the form of a fresco dining set. It doesn't say who bought this second car, but it is spoken for. This one, the second Rolls-Royce, will be sold to that person for $30 million when it's done.
Good gory, dude.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to say.
Dude, I don't drink, and that's making me want to drink. Like, what the heck, dude?
So this one specifically, it's got a button on the key fob that opens the wood panel decks, that butterfly deck that we talked about. But it also has royal walnut paneling, complete with inlaid rose gold pinstripes. Was chosen by the owner because it will age and transition in color over time to complement the cognac leather on the interior. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some FU money, dude.
Yeah, he does. This is the response from the CEO. For the clients, it's not about the price. We never have any discussions about, oh, what is this? What will you charge me for that? That's not what we are. The clients tell us what they want, and we never talk about price. The price is the price. Of course, no one asked.
Well, it's like it's probably because they know they're not gonna gyp them. They know
Jeez, man.
both sides know they're not gonna get gypped, and so they're like, it's gonna be expensive for our world, from our world, but for their world, it's like that's probably chump change.
I would love to be in the kind of position where $30 million is chump change.
Yeah. Well, and you could probably figure out some way to make it a tax write-off.
I'm sure that you could. Anyway, that's our list. What do you think, Conan?
I like it. I'm gonna have to do a list with the cheapest cars. Or what I'll probably put it as the most most bang for your buck cars.
most cost efficient cars. If there's not like a tuk-tuk or something on there, I'm shutting down the studio.
You know what there is going to be on there though? It's going to be I'll just put this as a preview. Is a 1998 Buick LeSabre. Dude, you can pick those things up for like $600 on Marketplace, and they'll run until the engine block has a hole in it, and they'll still run.
That's funny. Well, people will have to wait for that one because we are at time for tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As we're closing out today, the question that I have for everyone listening is if you had the chance to build the world's next most expensive car, no holds bar, price doesn't matter, what would yours be? Thank you so much for listening or watching with us tonight. Please, if you like this show, share it with your friends, leave us a comment, and make sure to subscribe to our podcast or follow us on YouTube and hit the notification bell and auto download so you never miss a thing. Thank you all so much. Have a good rest of your night.